Welcome to the lecture about providing your dog with agency. And I mentioned this before in the lecture about your dog's needs. It's basically providing your dog with choice. So, what is agency? The reason why we want to do this is to provide your dog with a level of control and also the ability to make choices. Very, very often we have the whole life of our dogs controlled. So we control when they get up, when they eat, what they eat, who they meet, who they are allowed to say hello to, etc. So by giving a bit of choice back, you help your dog feel in control and also just feel better, as well as growing confidence, etc. One thing that is important when we give our dogs options, it needs to be desired options. So you want to have at least two options of the same value. We do not want to give our dog the option of either this or nothing. So we mentioned before we are force free and we're not here to inflict pain onto our dogs. So having the option of coming or being choked with a parent collar or getting electric shock with an e-collar, this is not an option. So this is not what we're talking about when we say we want to provide our dog with desirable choices or options and provide our dog with agency, because this is you either do what I want or I hurt you. So this has nothing to do with agency, right? So it needs to be choices that are both desirable. So this could be, for example, if you have a natural chew, you can let them choose which one they want, but they need to be both like nice chews, right? So or picking the toy they want to play with or whatever it might be. So things your dog really likes and just let them choose. So one thing with agency is that we don't just want to do this once or twice, but rather have it as a way of life, just like enrichment. We do want to help our dog to be able to make better choices, but also to just get this control back and also get out of this hamster wheel of learned helplessness. We do want sorry, this was a big snore from my dog. So we do want our dogs to not just have a better quality of life, but also to just be happier and to basically be able to do things they want to do, which of course doesn't mean we are still in charge, right? So we still do control our dogs' lives big times. However, we don't have to do this all the time. We don't have to always be in control. We don't always have to dictate what to do or where to go. So we can give some responsibility to our dogs in a safe way. And I think this actually might be quite a good point to keep in mind, because sometimes it can be hard to let go of control if we are so used to micromanaging our dog's life. However, if we just think about how exhausting it is for us to seriously micromanage, this can be quite a good reminder for yourself to just let go a bit and be a bit more relaxed yourself. As mentioned though, it's safety first, right? So your dog does not always know what is best for them. So you do want to keep certain levels of responsibility. Providing your dog with agency does not mean your dog is dictating now your life or you give limitless choice. So we do want to limit the choices we give to our dogs, because as I said earlier, walking on the road without a leash might be lovely for your dog, and it might be also really nice for your ego, or really just comfortable. And yeah, I mean, I'm being guilty of this as well sometimes, simply because it's handier to just trust one of my dogs. But this might just not be the right time to provide your dog with agency. Or if your dog is maybe senior and has a tooth removed, or generally maybe not the best teeth, then it might also make sense to let them choose from different chews and not from the most appealing ones he would love to have, but that are just basically killing his teeth. Or if your dog really wants to say hello to another dog, but your dog might just not be there yet, or has the appropriate manners, or the recall, or whatever it might be. So we do want to stay in charge when it comes to these things, because safety does matter. And there's no point in having agency all the time when it would lead to fatal consequences or just more stress, etc. But we can obviously do easy swaps where we just enrich our dog's life and providing them with agency. And that would be an exercise for you where you can just give it some thought and really sit down and think about easy swaps you can make where you can give your dog just a bit more agency, providing your dog with agency, making your life easier, without it being a really big deal, right? So you can sit down and just simply think about the easy swaps in the next lecture. Before we go there, I would like to give you some very simple examples of giving choice to your dog in your everyday life. So here are some easy examples on how you can give more choice to your dog. One thing is rest or sleep. So why not let them choose where they actually want to sleep? We put different beds. So we have 4 dogs, right? So we put different beds in every room, and most of them sleep with me when I work, or if I'm, in the room I am in. However, they also sleep in another room or maybe downstairs. So just to let them choose where they want to sleep or where they're most comfortable, also if they want to be together or not, and just give them this opportunity. And if you are a games-based trainer, then you probably know about boundary games or boundary training and providing the dog with a job where they have to remain on the boundary. To be honest, I see this a bit different. So my dogs are all on the boundary if you want to. They are all on a bed. They don't do anything. They sleep. They are completely fully relaxed. My whole multi-dog household is relaxed, but on which bed they are, I really don't care. There are no fights or anything, so, why not let them choose? Then we have preferences, and this obviously is not just relating to toys, but to everything really. So this could be for walks, this could be for food, this could be for which toys, anything really. So what does your dog like to do? What are your dog's preference? What is also maybe easier for, for their build, etc. So why don't you just give them some choice there and let them play with their favorite toys, or let them eat their favorite foods and not always have the same for all of them. So to just really let them pick what they want, or just showing their preference, and just taking into account your dog's preference. So also I think one thing to keep in mind is that giving agency does not always mean we don't always hold up things in front of our dog's nose, right? So, and let them choose in the moment. But so if for example, one dog really likes, so I just go with my dogs, right? So for Rambo, for example, he really likes to topple over a Kong because the opening is bigger. So for him, with a bigger nose, he's a bully breed. It's very easy, and he loves this thing. Versus Panda and Chucky, they really do like the soda pop can, where the opening is a bit smaller. So they would prefer the soda pop can where they have to lick it out, and actually don't mind spending some time with a can toy. And she's super patient, and even if it's like something that has a smaller hole to basically have the treats fall out or the food come out, she doesn't mind, and she really just takes it with her and doesn't get frustrated or anything. So knowing this, I just basically give them the toys they have chosen before. Or if I give a Kong to Rambo, he really loves to have just chicken pieces in it and can throw them around. So, by knowing your dog and you have done the exercise of getting to know your dog, their preferences, etc., you can also use these things to provide them with choice. Not necessarily in the moment, they are not choosing in the moment, but you have already asked them for their preference, if that makes sense. Also, if you go on walks, you can easily either let your dog decide which route to go if you have time, or simply let them sniff. So very often the dogs are being rushed along on their walks, or having to go on a heel, or having to go in a heel or whatever. But why not just let your dog sniff and actually let them read the newspaper as long as they want, and basically just spend their time how they would like to spend your time. So one thing I'd like to think is it's their walk, it's not my walk. I can enjoy the walk also quite more if I'm, not stressed, if I'm not on my phone, and just basically also be a bit mindful and enjoy nature while I'm waiting for my dog to stop sniffing or whatever and move along. So to just take the pressure out for both of you. And then well-being, and we mentioned this before in the hierarchy of dog needs, so cooperative care. Where you provide your dog with agency. So when the dog wants you to stop, you stop. So basically this is a way how you give your dog the agency or the choice to also tell you when they had enough. And this can be incredibly helpful for dogs who are either a bit like pressure sensitive, who don't like to be touched, who might be rescue dogs, so lots of our Wadi dogs. as well as any dog really, where they tell you, okay, thank you, this is below my threshold, I can still handle this, but I don't want any more. And there are different ways you can do this. One thing you can Google if you want to is like the bucket game, and I can link some things down below as well. But yeah, you do want to listen to your dog, and you also want them to yeah, be able to tell you. So there's no point, obviously, if they tell you if you're not listening. So cooperative care would be one key word for you to maybe look a bit deeper into it, because I do think this is incredibly valuable, and also can have a massive impact on your relationship when your dog knows you're actually listening to them and respecting the boundaries. Also, it keeps everyone safe because they might not feel the need to snap or anything. And also having the freedom to move away from triggers, as well as training for situations. And I'm going to talk about this a bit more. So moving away from triggers, if something is scary, there is like this theory where we have to expose our dogs to certain things. And while this might have its place in training, I believe that we should, before we do this, equip our dog with the skills to really be able to face certain situations. And if you have been in therapy for anxiety, then you might know this. A therapist would not just throw you into the deep end, but rather build you up until you are able to face things, right? So what we want to do by training for a situation is we train our dog without having triggers present, and basically equipping them with the skills they need to then be able to face these triggers. So if I, for example, have a dog who is completely stressed by vehicles or anything really, so we might not just want to start training right in front of a street where cars are and maybe there is rush hour, big traffic jams, etc. Chances are our dog is not able to listen anyways, and they're completely overwhelmed over threshold, but rather maybe trying to practice things at home. And you can do all of this games based. Help your dog to know what to do and deal with things, and then if you have practiced these skills, go back into the situation and basically just help your dog to cope better. So yeah, sorry, this was quite a long lecture, but I think it's a really important one. I give you some time now to really think about easy things you can do, and while you're doing this, maybe also think about situations that are really triggering for your dog, or also situations where your dog becomes really easy. Maybe situations where you have pushed through in the past, and it's, you know, situations you might want to reconsider how you dealt with this. So I will let you on to the worksheet, how you can provide more agency for your dog. And of course, if you have any questions, then also, of course, please feel free to reach out to me at any time.